Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to NYSA Presents, where you see what you've been missing in 3D, and welcome to New York. I'm your host, Johnny Laser. Happy vernal equinox, as it turns out. The one day we're all on the same page. A 12-hour day for all of us. And I'm certain that somewhere in the past, it was a great day to throw someone into a volcano, but no throwing them to volcanoes today. We're going to just have fun. And thanks to Stereo Doro and Jay Kuznets, you can also watch parts of the show in various 3D formats. Jay will return soon. Welcome back, Stereo Doro. And thanks to Jim Harp for this week's great caption. This, we love it. And I can't imagine doing a show without it. Next week, we have a return visit from Dr. Steven Pinker. He'll be discussing glasses-free monitors, free D, as far as I'm concerned. He'll be also discussing his adventures in AI, and he'll be sharing his great 3D images. He's going to send quite a bit, so it's going to be a great show. A Silverman will be stopping by on April 11th. Harold Bays, also known as Harold Bays. I'm sure it's on his checkbook, his credit card. He'll be taking us to the 2025 edition of Burning Man. Love that. Great way to go without getting sand in your camera. Looking Glass Factory launched their first consumer product. They got a Kickstarter going right now. It's a 7-inch holographic photo and video frame called a Masubi. You can order that with your sushi. The Kickstarter is in the chat. They promise to stop, and they're going to stop by in a couple of weeks. Sean is running all over Asia right now, and he's going to be. He'll come in and he'll demonstrate it. They're great folks. They're so busy. They're over in Brooklyn, and God bless them. I don't hold it against them if they're in Brooklyn, but actually, Brooklyn is a great place for industry. At least it used to be. Kickstarter out shift 5. There's 5 days left on that gadget, and all of their fun things. There's a new update on that with the shipping, with the tariffs and the whatever. So there's some changes there you should look into. And for submissions to NYSA, or if you want to share a presentation you've already showed someplace else, you want to show it to us, info@3dnsa.org. There's another email for that too, but we're in the middle of the server changing server stuff. And so let me get this thing straight. So you got my point. Use this one temporarily. info@3dnsa.org. YouTube channel is, YouTube, and one of those slashes, the one that goes that way, at 3dnsa. That'll get you there. We Google pretty good. If you type in New York Stereoscopic, it'll show up. We've been around long enough, and we pay enough dues with those guys, so
It's
we
in
get
the
pushed.
chat now.
Thank you. In the chat. Sorry, all this stuff should be in the chat. And also, the NYSA Presents viewer after the show link is in the chat. Should be deposited there in the chat, so you can see whatever stuff we had covered in the chat. It'll actually be all the images. The other part of the show shows back up after it's edited. And it's also in the link. There'll be an information from a Red Magic Titan 16 Pro 3D gaming laptop. I don't know if they mean 3D, but these guys are 3D now. My advice, and somebody gave me this advice. I was not smart enough to think of this, so I'll credit them, whoever they may be, wherever they are right now. Really, if you're going to get really good PCs, the gaming world is the best world to go at. That can handle all kinds of all the stuff that you force it to do, the more complicated 3D video and everything. I got a machine here that I bought I think 15 years ago with an extreme chip, and I'm still using it. It's on Windows 7. It still works like a charm. It's one of those ones that was liquid cooled, So best bet to go to the gaming guys. They know. Now, kids, it is time for the ANAGLYPH jukebox. Press them buttons, Herb, to take us away.
Aretha Louise Franklin, 1942 to 2018, was the queen of soul. She was twice named by Rolling Stone magazine as the greatest singer of all time. As a child, Franklin was noticed for her gospel singing at New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, where her father, C.L. Franklin, was a minister. At just 18 years old, she was signed as a recording artist for Columbia Records. Aretha Franklin is one of the world's best-selling music artists with more than 75 million records sold globally. She's won 18 Grammy Awards, including the first 8 awards given for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. In 1987, She became the first female artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was also awarded the National Medal of Arts and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Pretty impressive for the woman who started out as a preacher's daughter from Detroit with a big voice. Take it away.
Chain, 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 chain of food. For 5 long years, I thought you were my man, but I found out I'm just a link in your chain. Oh, you got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool. You treat me mean. Oh, you treat me cruel. Chain, 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 chain of food. Every chain has got a weak link. I might be weak time, but I give it strength. Oh, you told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. Oh, but your loving is much too strong. I'm headed to you. Chain, chain, chain. 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 Your chain of food. Oh, one of these mornings, the chain is gonna break. But up until then, yeah, I'm gonna take all I can take. Oh, yeah. Chain, chain, chain. 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 Chain, chain, chain of food. Oh, chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Oh, chain, chain, chain. It's chain of food.
Joe, thank you again for bringing such wonderful things into our living room. So, I mean, Aretha Franklin. Now I know. It's just you really get a good idea of what she's about with that song. And imagine this: all those gospel. What is it about gospel singers, man? Elvis Presley, right? Many
Yes,
of the
so many came up in the church and then moved into popular music. I mean, there's dozens.
really it's hard to pick a great singer that somehow wasn't involved with the gospel. Many of the most of the country singers that somehow
Yes,
had,
yeah,
involved in that.
did that
But
as well.
me and going to a good, Catholic church, what do you got? Gregorian chants. We didn't have much of a nice songs, don't get me wrong, but man, you learn to belt it out in those places. And I'm kind of sorry I didn't. I didn't go to a gospel church. Maybe start doing that again for the first time. Anyway, thanks, Joe. Thanks for doing that. They're always so great. Learned so much, and thank you. And now we're going to go into some images of spring. We got some great some great images that came in. That's just a pretty
I'm
shot.
here.
Thank you, Harold. Thank you. What did you shoot this with, by the way?
That was with the hydrogen red.
Which one?
The hydrogen red, the phone.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. You'd be able to get that close. Yep, yep. That's so pretty. Thank you. This guy.
Yeah,
When I first, this is great. Obviously, this is on your window, your front window, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a kitchen window, but I put that up there for the birds, but the squirrels, of course, love it. So good opportunity for a photo.
Oh, that's a great one. Initially I was so taken by the little guy that I thought there were nuts and bolts in that thing. I thought you set this one up, but I realized now that if you're gonna Photoshop it and put a couple of nuts and bolts in next time, that's great. And I think we got another one of this guy.
Yeah,
I don't
this
think he
is
sees. I wonder how he sees the world with those eyeballs on each side of his head. Does he get
differently,
a giant
definitely. Yeah.
hyper out of the world? I don't know.
Well, a lot like cows, it's for seeing around the sides. I don't think their stereo vision is very good.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
this is
Go
this
ahead.
one was taken with the hydrogen red again.
Did you crop this, or did you, uh, or did
It's
you just put this? Go ahead.
hydrogen red, and then it was cropped a little.
Then, boy, that camera does do some nice work. Look at that guy.
Was it through a window or?
Yeah, through a window.
Pretty cool.
That's a great shot. We're looking forward to Burning Man in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Harold. Thank you very much. But always love anything you said. We'll show you know that. Thanks again. See you in a couple of weeks. Oh, great. The comic relief would not be fulfilled without Robert Bloomberg. This is great. You're
Thanks.
kidding me. Got it. You try. I can't even say it, but I can. Hey, that's the thing, Robert. I can't say it, but I can think it, and it thinks pretty funny. I'll say that.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, right? What do we call this one? Making caterpillars?
No, actually, these two guys were these two were engaged in a little mating ritual when I was taking a walk again
I
with
hope they're engaged.
iPhone. Yeah, better. Well, it's in California, so it's okay. So this was a semi-successful cha-cha holding these guys. They let me pick them up. They were too involved. And so I did a cha-cha with one hand.
One hand cha-cha. We obviously this phone.
Yeah, this is an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
That's a great shot.
Thanks.
Slightly bug X-rated, but cool.
Yeah.
Wow. What is this thing?
This is, well, it's referred to as a Chinese lantern. It's actually a flowering maple. And this is currently in my garden. And again, an iPhone cha-cha.
And that's fresh from the garden at this point.
Yeah, well, it's not as fresh as it was here, but
Well, did you just shoot that this year, or this is like
no, this year.
this year? How wonderful! I think that's. Oh yeah, this one too. This is great.
Yeah, it should be through the window a little bit more, but I don't know if that's me or if that can be adjusted on your end. Yeah, this was taken with a stereo macro realist.
Oh, macro realist. Wow.
Yeah. This was taken at Wildcare. It's a local animal rehab center. I've done some pro bono photography work for them. They use it for their signage and stuff. And in return, they tell me when they have some new visitors coming in that I can come and photograph.
Now that, where was the flash, or did you light this?
No, I think that I may have used an additional flash offline. I'm looking at the catch light in their eyes, but yeah, I don't.
There's not a lot
recall.
of shadow in there. I mean, I'm just,
I don't know if you noticed the fifth member of the group down below. I call this waiting for his solo.
Oh, look at that guy. Wow. I did not notice. Look at that. Well, that's great. So again, you're saying you just a flash?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Then was it on the camera, or did you move it around? So
No, it was off camera, I'm sure.
it was off camera. That was the answer. I figured it. Yeah, because it looks so nicely done. It's so
Thanks.
lit so evenly.
Can we move the window further out, or is that? Got to be on my.
No, because
That was me making the anaglyph to not ghost as much. In other words, I whenever I make the anaglyphs, I try to reduce ghosting.
Okay.
Anyone looking at it on rooms will see your original composition and windowing. We
I
we
can't.
sort of make anaglyphs. So if you're on rooms, you can see exactly what
I'm
we
trying
never
to get.
change that stuff.
I'm trying to get on rooms, but having trouble here.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, it happens to the best of them. Well, look, it happened to me. So,
I'll imagine it through the window.
oh, very nice.
And this was some tulips I shot at the farmer's market a while back, and then did a conversion on it. Believe this was depth maker, and then mirrored in stereo photo maker, and then I added a B shot from.
Yeah, you had to be shy. I was going to ask you if that came in. It's just beautiful, beautiful concept. Looks great.
Thanks.
I even like the way too bright sun in the upper corner. I actually like the way that looks. Yeah, I'm glad you kept that.
Yeah, the iPhone does nice things with backlit.
I thank you, Robert. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much again, man. That was wonderful. It was fantastic. Appreciate it. Now
Yeah, so we
let's
have,
see what Herb Weiner has for us.
yeah, so this is a color photograph of a cat with her kittens outdoors exploring the garden and celebrating the first day of spring.
That was the prompt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this begins with the same prompt, but then I added a bird is riding on the back of the mother cat.
And you just said bird. You didn't pick a bird.
I didn't pick a bird.
It picked a bird. Does anybody know what that bird is, or it's like some hallucination AI bird? We'll never know, I guess. Always makes me think, what is it creating? What is it finding? It looks like something like a pigeon and a raven. It's like the sweetest thing.
And and this is the same prompt, different bird, different cats.
Same prompt.
Same prompt. So what happens is I think Midjourney is maybe it's getting to know me a little better, or maybe it's just getting better, because what's happening is that I'm now getting more usable images often on the first prompt. So in other words, I'll put in a prompt, it'll give me 4 images, and 2 of them were images I liked. So and so here we have a color photograph of cats helping with the spring cleaning. I'm not sure how they're helping, but
Well, they're thinking. They're waiting for the lady of the house. Oh, I shouldn't say that. For somebody to come in and clean up. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody.
and this is the same prompt. Color photograph of cats helping with the spring cleaning.
Now, this was a little creepy with the cat on the right. That eye seems to be really super dark, right? Or is it me? Because the cat to the right's right eye. The cat to the right's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
interesting.
don't know what happened there.
I know. I always notice that. I'm like I'm always just amazed at the eyes. I'm always looking at the eyes. So it's me that actually terrifies me in a way. So I'm going to keep moving. I don't know how you got it. I'm glad you did, and I appreciate the picture. But before that
Okay,
thing jumps out and takes my soul, I think I'll move.
and that's the last one that I submitted.
Excellent. Thank you for that heads up. And now that Jim is back, we're springing into India.
Yeah, okay.
You could pick it up from here, and I'm just going to work my way through and watch along with you.
Well, sure. So yeah, I had the opportunity to visit India a couple of weeks ago when I wasn't here for a few weeks. My younger daughter, who's 25, is doing a fellowship over there for 10 months, and she's about 5 hours train ride from Calcutta. Calcutta city in eastern India, not very far from Bangladesh. Not easy to get to. So we had the opportunity to spend a weekend in Calcutta touring around. And one of the places we went on a little walking tour we did, this is called the Kumartuli neighborhood of Calcutta. It's where idols are made, and quite a few idol statues are used for Buddhist rituals and ceremonies, particularly. But as you see, there were all kinds of statues. This one here obviously looks maybe a little more Western, the angel. But you can see in the background there's there's a guy working on making idols, and one of the things they do is they make these from the mud from the Ganges River, which is accessible from Calcutta, and that's I think considered for whole. The river is considered holy, so the mud is considered very desirable to make these statues from. You can go to the next one, yeah. And so here's just kind of a closer look at the little workshop where the guy is making using the clay to make various size statues and things. And it was really quite amazing. Calcutta, as with many Indian cities, there's neighborhoods where everything happens. You won't find a variety of stores or shops in anywhere you go. You'll find there's the clothing neighborhood, there's the produce neighborhood, there's the musical instrument neighborhood. And so we happen to be in the place where you make idols, that neighborhood. As I said, it's called Kumartuli. And yep, here's one. The very, they make these by first creating straw and stick frames, and then they sculpt the mud around them.
So these are
And you can,
mud. Is there
yeah,
anything added to the mud? Do you know? Did you watch them add anything, like to make it more like concrete or something, or more stiff?
I think they're using, this is a big industry, as you can imagine. I had asked our guide, they don't actually harvest the mud in Calcutta, but they do it a bit farther downriver. And he said that the Ganges is actually a precipitating river, and so that this process of taking the mud out for sculpting actually is sustainable. It helps keep the river from flooding and from being overwhelmed with all the sediment. I don't know if they add anything or not, but as I said, that it's not solid mud. You'll see, I think maybe in some of the other pictures you can see where they have these straw frames.
Uh-huh.
If you look
Uh-huh.
in the back here, you can kind of get a sense of that. And yeah, it's very busy. And just to give the context, we're seeing all these Hindu idols, but there was also I don't think I got it in these set of pictures, but there was a really nice life-size Spider-Man there. So these guys do all kinds of work. They're not that picky about what they're.
And when you're working over there, did they stop to chat with you, or they kept focused?
They kept pretty focused. I think they're used to tourists going through, and they're working pretty hard. I mean, we were getting ready for some big festivals coming up. This was a few days before Holi, which I'll have some pictures of later, which is the festival where they put colors on their faces. These guys were working hard. Yeah, they weren't really interested in chatting with us. They didn't mind us being there, but you can see they're just really focused on what they're doing. Yeah, here, as I was saying about the straw, you can kind of see what's going on. It's not solid mud. They basically created the frame out of straw and sticks, and then they're covering it with the mud from the Ganges or clay. I'm sorry, I really should say clay. That's more the better term.
Yeah, yeah, got it.
I mean, it's harvested from the Ganges banks of the Ganges River, but it really is a clay by the time they're working with it. Now, this one we discussed earlier. The only reason I included it was to prevent me from including it in a caption this, because that could have been very problematic. So
Yeah, yeah.
you guys can look at this one and think of what might have been.
Yeah, well, just there's heads getting red hot at this point with those
Yeah.
thoughts. So we're
Yes,
going to
yeah.
move on
So
because
this is
we
in
don't
another
want
in an alternative universe, another timeline that would have been a caption this, but not
yeah,
here.
precisely.
And these are some finished idols.
Wow,
And you can see, I mean, they really do some amazing. The craftsmanship
wow.
is quite amazing. If I knew a bit more about Hindu tradition, I could tell you a bit more about who these people are. But you can just kind of see how absolutely beautiful the work is.
Oh, look at the hand. Look at her hand, a little purple or whatever color it would have been without an anaglyph. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, there's a color in her hand.
Yeah, no, it was purple. Yeah, purple's one of those colors you don't have to change for anaglyphs because it's red and blue, so both glasses see it very evenly. So purple. I wish everybody would submit purple images.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, really amazing. Beautiful work. Oh
Kurt
my
has a
goodness.
question on which camera did you use for those
Oh,
pictures?
thanks. I really should have mentioned that. Most of what we're seeing here is the Apple iPhone Spatial. An iPhone Pro Max. I tend to use the spatial feature, which uses two lenses, the mismatched telephoto and wide angle, and then compensates. And for those sorts of shots, it works really well. This one, I believe, was a Beam Pro. I had the Beam Pro and the Apple. That was sort of my little carrying kit. And I did quite a bit of VR-180 with a Canon R5, but those I can't quite figure out how to present those well. They look wonderful in a VR headset, but these were my side-by-side stereos. So yeah, most of what you're seeing was the iPhone Spatial. This one, as you can see, the iPhone Spatial is very narrow interocular. So for an image like this, where there's a little bit deeper subject, the beam, which still isn't very wide interocular, but it's wider than the Apple. This was a Beam Pro.
Oh, you
I'll try
wandering
to
around
mention
there
that
now?
as
Was
we
it
go
was
by.
this morning, Jim?
Pardon?
Was this morning? I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah, this was morning. In fact, this was a really fun tour we did, our first full day in Calcutta, that started at 5:30 a.m. and it was like watch the city wake up. And it's such a busy, Indian cities are incredibly busy and fast paced, and the traffic is nuts. It's good to be out there at that time of day where you can at least sort of feel like you can walk around and not immediately be run over. So yeah, this was the morning. All right, so here, this is a Beam Pro image, and you can see once again, just that this wouldn't have been as good of a shot for the iPhone Spatial. This is the flower market in Calcutta, and flowers are also a big part of the rituals and especially Hindu ceremonies, and they have an astonishing, this huge bustling market where flowers are sold. I think I might have another image from this. Yeah, here's a little bit closer up, but you just kind of see it was really quite an experience walking through this. Very, you see it's just jam-packed and endless flowers, endless roses, just so much stuff going on.
Uh, what
This was the
temperature at this point?
Apple's iPhone Spatial for this one. You can see because the guy is very close to it. This sort of thing works really well with that narrow. This would have been an eye popper, taken with a realist or something this close.
What temperature was it? What was the weather?
It was about 70. We were in sort of the early spring over there, and it gets very hot. One of the reasons we planned our trip in late February, early March was that if we waited till April, it would have been stifling hot in this part of India. And all right, so now we're going to talk about. Now we're going to the city where my daughter's working, which is called Jamshedpur, a very interesting place. It's actually the Pittsburgh of India. It's a city that was built by the Tata Steel Corporation. We were lucky enough to be in this city on Holi. Holi is a Hindu festival where people smash colors on their faces and color everything. It's really a celebration of spring. It's celebrating that winter has been defeated and spring is in. And in terms of how it feels, it's a lot like our St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it's just a wild wild fun celebration, and people just go around throwing colors on their faces and partying. So here was a group of that's actually my daughter is the third from the right there. You can see she kind of stands out from the others. I could probably ask you which one's related to me, but there she is with some of her friends and coworkers having a holy celebration. This was on the roof of her building. And this was, we just went out to lunch that day and just at a little restaurant selling dosas. They just had these dyes sitting out front just so you could put color on your face if you wanted to. And that's kind of what Holi is like there. It's just there's colors and dyes everywhere. And you're just kind of expected to throw some on things. I did get a little bit of orange dye on my Canon camera, but happily I was able to get it off.
It
was worth it to get the shot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And to talk a little bit more about Jamshedpur, it's a city that was built in about the turn of the century, 1900, specifically to be a steel mill plant. It's built by the Tata family, who are sort of like the Rockefellers. I mean, they're a big family who are into everything in India, and they're known around the world. You see Tata stuff even over here. They make cars. Jamshedpur is the city where their big steel mill is, and we were there also for a big celebration of the founder of Jamshedpur. And so I just found this kind of interesting. It's almost like a little shrine to the founder. You can see the fellow there, and this is in a mall. So you can see there's a McDonald's to the right. The one difference with the McDonald's over there is they don't sell beef. Everything is chicken or paneer or cheese. So I had a chicken Big Mac. That was my one indulgence. And this is also that same guy. I think his name was something like Jamshedi. And so Jamshedpur means his city. And this is once again a little shrine outside the mall. I don't know if they would consider it a shrine, but they were celebrating the Founders' Day. And I found it interesting that they, the Tatas kind of present themselves in kind of like the fashion of Hindu shrines, even though they were actually Zoroastrians. Tatas do not. Their religious tradition doesn't include idols and idol statues and that sort of thing. But their workers are Hindu, and so it's not kind of interesting that they're presenting themselves like that.
And just for the record, was this the iPhone or
This
or
was the Beam
Urkel?
Pro. Once again, and this
The
was
Beam
like
Pro.
me saying, "Oh well, this is a little bit of a farther image. I want to get a little more depth in it." This would have been a little flat from the iPhone. So thanks for asking. Yeah, this is the Beam Pro. So that was sort of like my very easy to carry those two things around, and it kind of covered me for a lot of things. And now that's it for me.
Well, you took us on it was a colorful, wonderful journey between the flowers and the birds and the dye. I mean, no, that was great. Thank you,
Challenging
Jim.
for ANAGLYPH. I hope people are able to look at those in rooms and side by side because there's some very strong colors that I couldn't quite render in the ANAGLYPH world.
Well, you let us be on. We're armchair tourists at this point, and that was. I feel like I just put down a ViewMaster. That was so
Thanks.
great.
That's a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, I put it like pop another reel in. Wow, man, that was great. That was great. Oh my God, that was phenomenal.